Aloha, everyone. Hey there. We're in the middle of doing our setup over here. You know, some of the Facebook Lives that I do, you got, this nice background, or I make sure that everything's all set up, get my Aloha shirt on. This Facebook Live, though, I happen to get to do right here at our training in Austin. We got into the hotel room a little bit early, and it was really helpful to get in here a little bit earlier to get set up. We got about 120 people that are going to be showing up here in Austin tomorrow. We're doing our 4-day practitioner training here. Check out the room. Got big room set up over here. Super nice. There's Dr. John back there. He's setting up. Dr. John, say hi. There's Nikki too, one of our trainers. We've got a whole team of assistants back here getting everything all set up. And I had a Facebook Live scheduled. So I figured, what the heck? Why don't I jump on here and just do it while we're here live in this training. So if you hear background noise and whatnot, we're still getting things all ready. So if you're going to be here in Austin, I'll be seeing you tomorrow, get to meet you. For those of you that aren't, we always do trainings all around the world, all around North America. Well, North America right now. We used to do it around the world, but really focusing in on North America, Canada right now. And one of the things, this is an NLP training that we're doing here, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And for those of you that I haven't met, I'm Dr. Matt James, and I began my journey with NLP when I was a kid. I was 11 years old, and my daughter's 12 right now. She just turned 12 in October. She did practitioner beginning of last year. She's gonna be becoming a master prac this year. And one of the things that I learned early on in the NLP classes that I took is that habits, we have these habits that we do. And that's what this whole Facebook Live is about. We run these habits. Now, some of them are good, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and you get ready. You get going for the day. You have a habit of hygiene, habit of eating. And for those of you who eat healthy, that's a good habit. We have habits of driving in a safe way to keep the people that we love safe and comfortable. And then we have the habits that we're not so proud of. We have the habits that we're not so good about, the habits that we don't like. Everyone has them. I do, we all do. Habits that can get in the way of you communicating effectively. I've worked with some top presenters, and they'll get up on stage over there, and as they begin to present, they can have a habit that can be so distracting for an audience. I know that some of you have probably seen that before, hopefully not from one of our trainings, and it happens. I've had people say, hey, you say, does that make sense a lot? Is that a habit? It's all habits. We are what we repeatedly do. And so what happens is, as a kid, like my daughter, 12-year-old, you begin to develop these habits, to become unconscious. The unconscious mind needs repetition in order to install a habit. So that's why a parent will say, go do this, and say it again and again and again until the kid gets it as a habit. Now, I saw my daughter the other day. This is about a year ago now. She was beginning to twirl her hair a little bit. And when she was twirling her hair, I would go, okay, Skylar, that's cute. It's really cool right now. Let's avoid developing a habit. And I would help her stop doing that habit. And so what happens is people sometimes develop habits without knowing it that they want to get rid of. What you need to do is you need to do what's called pattern awareness. Before you get into any fancy NLP technique like a swish pattern or mapping across, or before you do any technique to get rid of the habit, you first have to become aware of the habit. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how do you become aware of your habits. It's called pattern awareness. So the things that we do over and over again, they're patterns. Most people are completely unconscious of their patterns. They wake up one day and they go, whew, last year I did not do a good job. I was pretty bad. I said the wrong thing to this person or that. It's like they reflect on the past and they go, okay, here's something that I did that I shouldn't have done. That's pattern awareness. Now, some people then begin to go, I want to work on these patterns. I want to work on this habit. And then all of a sudden one day, you're like, whoa, you wake up and you're like, yesterday, I was not at my best. You're thinking, I was kind of like a jerk yesterday. It's almost like you look back at this pattern that you ran the day before. Now, if you do personal growth work, if you continue to work on yourself, what eventually happens is one day you wake up at the end of your pattern. You get right at the end of your pattern, you're like, wow, I really lost it. I just like 5 minutes ago, I wasn't at my best. That's cool. If you do that, if you begin to wake up at the end of your pattern and realize it wasn't that that person over there pissed me off or that person over there, that it's me, you're farther ahead than most people on this planet. This is a really good thing. Now, I know you want to do better than that, right? So some people wake up in the middle of running their pattern. I've been doing this now for 21 years. I've been teaching since 1998, celebrating my 21st year teaching. And when I first started getting into NLP, I had all these habits, and sometimes I would like react too quickly. Someone would say something that I didn't like, and I would react. And I remember waking up in the middle of one of these reactions going, you're just really not at your best right now, like in the moment. And then I kept doing what I was doing, right? We just keep running our pattern. We keep going for it. I remember one day though, I got to a point where I woke up and I'm like, I'm about to lose it. This thing right here is triggering me and I'm about to lose it. Now, this is where you begin to gain empowerment. You see, when you wake up before you run the pattern, now you know what's triggering the pattern. And that's the whole thing. With NLP, it's finding out what is your trigger. See, if you know your trigger ahead of time, if you know something is going to set you off ahead of time, if you know something is going to derail you, you're normally doing really good and something's going to derail you, getting to know what that is ahead of time allows you to interrupt the pattern. Because then one day you wake up and you sit there and you go, I fly off the hook sometimes. I overeat, I oversleep, I bite my nails, I do this, I do that. What's the trigger? What is it that triggers you to go into that pattern? What is it that triggers you to step into that space that you don't want to be in? Once you have the trigger identified, then there's a whole bunch of different things you can do about it. We have an online course for NLP swish patterns that can get rid of unwanted states or behaviors. You can use that to interrupt a pattern. Sometimes it's a boundary. Sometimes maybe you have a loved one that says something that at a certain time that would trigger you. So you can share with them, hey, this is what triggers me. Or maybe you like text messaging. I text message my son, and he's 19. And the two of us have such a great connection, amazing relationship. And there was a phase that he went through where he wouldn't respond right away. And I'd be like, dude, I know if you're busy, if things are going on, and you just can't get in touch with me, it's totally okay. Just text me and let me know you'll get back to me later. Because otherwise I get triggered. Being human, I'm your dad. So here's the deal. He started doing that, responding rather than just going silent. That ended that trigger. Now, I don't want to just talk about negative things, right? Because in the book, The Slight Edge, great book, if you haven't read it, it talks about the things that we do on a regular basis that build up to us living the lives that we want to live. So for example, I went into the gym this morning, worked chest, shoulders, and triceps. You don't do one workout and all of a sudden you're fit. You got to do it over and over again. So when I coach people, I coach 4 people a year. When I coach, what I do is I begin to help them develop new habits. By doing that, I have them do tasks. So for example, daily gratitude, waking up in the morning and setting an intention for the day, doing ho'oponopono, a forgiveness process at night. I only add a few things in, every week or so until it becomes unconscious. I use the analogy of my daughter. When she was younger, she'd wake up in the morning, she'd come downstairs and I'd go, Skylar, did you brush your teeth? And she'd go, no, I forgot. Okay, go up and do it. Well, after I asked her to do that a few times, one day she came downstairs and she's like, I brushed my teeth already. I'm like, sweet, did you wash your face? No, Daddy. Okay, well, go wash your face. So she went and did, and pretty soon those things became a habit. You see, when you're learning something new, it seems like it's taking a lot of your time and effort because you're needing to bring your conscious mind into it. But once you have done it over and over again, it installs it at the unconscious level. So take it easy on yourself. I know you had your New Year's resolutions. I know that you had the goals and intentions. And if you piled on too much, what can happen for some people is they get overloaded. So what you do is you pick 1 or 2 things that you want to add and you add them in. Once they become unconscious, you add in some more. And once those become unconscious, you add in even more. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to say about that. Going for about 10 minutes now. I know that I usually do a little bit longer, but we're here setting up. I just want to say hi to them. Hey, everyone, say hi. I'm live. Hi. Look at all of our assistants here hanging out. So I'm going to go hang out with them, get them all prepped for the practitioner training that we're going to be starting tomorrow. And again, for those of you that are going to be here, come say hi tomorrow. And if not, I'll be seeing you on our next Facebook Live or at the next training you guys attend. Thank you so much for being here. Aloha.